welcome to the next chapter, chapter number 6, Python conditional statements. My name is Gaurav Goyal and I live in Virginia and I have experience of around 17 years in telecom industry. For more information about me, you can go to my LinkedIn profile. And if you want the notes and the codes, can you please send me one email to this python.training32@gmail.com and you will get all the codes, you will get all the notes, you will get all the recording, everything, right? Just send one email to python.training32@gmail.com and you will get everything. And before jumping to the session, I request everybody, please like this video and please share this video with your friends so that they can also benefit from this video. Okay, so let's start. So conditional statements, right? So in the real world, we commonly must evaluate information around us and then choose one course of action or another based on what we observe, right? Like if the weather is nice, then I will mow the lawn, right? So it also implies that if the weather is not nice, then I won't mow the lawn, right? So same thing in the Python program, the if statement is how you perform this sort of decision making. So it allows for the conditional execution of a statement or a group of statements based on the value of an expression. So what is a conditional expression? So conditional expression in Python is an expression. In other words, a piece of code that evaluates to a result whose value depends on a condition. For example, if a number is divided by 2, then it is even, else it is odd, right? So it is a condition. If it is divided by 2, then it's even. If it is not divided by 2, then it's odd, right? Again, few more examples. So I will play PUBG only if it is Sunday. I will eat ice cream only if it is sunny day, right? I will go for hiking if my parents allow, right? So all these are decisions which depends on a conditions being met, right? So in a Python 2, we must be able to execute instructions on a conditions, right? So this is what conditions are for, right? So if the condition is met, we want to execute the code. If the condition is not met, we do not want to execute the code. That's why it is called conditional, right? So this is a syntax for if and else. So right now you can see if, else and elif. So instead of else if, we use elif in Python, right? So if else and elif statements are a multi-way decision taken by our program due to certain condition in our. For example, if condition 1 is true, then print yes, else print no, else print maybe, right? And you have to note one thing, that at one point of time or during the whole program, only one command will be run. So if condition 1 is true, then it will print yes, then it will not run any other command, else it will run second command. If second command is true, then it will stop at that moment only, right? So elif is else if. In some other language it is called else if, but here in Python we called it elif. So if condition is true, so if the first condition is true, then program will stop and it will not go to the next command. If the first condition is false, then it will go to the next command, and if it is true, then program will stop there, and so on, right? So here are the few logical conditions from mathematics for this thing. So in Python, for equals we use two equal marks, so a equal b. For not equal, a exclamation mark equal to b, less than a less than b, less than or equal to this symbol we have to use, greater than we have to use this symbol, and greater than or equal to we have to use this symbol. So these conditions can be used in several ways, most commonly in if statement and the loops. And if statement is written by if keyword, right? Next we have to know about indentation as well. So Python relies on indentation, right? White space at the beginning of a line to define scope in the code. So other programming languages often use curly bracket for this purpose. So indentation is very important concept of Python, because without properly indenting the Python code, you will end up seeing indentation error and the code will not get compiled, right? So Python indentation refers to adding white space before a statement to a particular block of code. In other words, all the statements with the same space to the right belong to same code block. For example, you see that if condition, right? If and statement are of the same block. This if and else will of the same block. This statement and this statement of the same block. For example, this code 1 continues and code block, right? So these are belong to same block, right? Then code block 2, because you can see the space between this is same. Code block 2, code block 2, space is same. Same code block 3, space is same, right? So according to space, according to indentation, Python will work. So Python indentation again refers to adding white space before a statement to a particular block of code. In other words, all the statement with the same space to the right belong to the same code block. And this is a very effective way of telling a Python interpreter that a group of statements belong to a particular block of code. A block is a combination of all these statements, and block can be regarded as the grouping of statements for a specific purpose. Most programming languages like C, C++, Java use braces like curly braces to define a block of code. But Python uses indentation to highlight the blocks of code. White space is used for indentation in Python. So all statements with the same distance to the right belong to the same block of code, right? As you know, there is no semicolon in Python, unlike other languages. So if indentation or this space is not there, then how can Python know this line is under this statement, right? So we need indentation or space, and I can use tab or I can use 4 spaces, right? So enough of theory, let's move to the Python programming. So I want to make a program where, suppose if a is equal to 15, so you want to know that a is less than 3 or greater than 3, a is greater than 13 or 7. So we have to check and we have to run this program. So let's do in the Python. So as I said earlier that you don't have to write anything in your notebook. Just send one email and you will get all these notes and all these codes, right? So you have power of 3. So you have the video, you have the notes, and you have the codes. Then nobody can stop you from learning Python, right? So I have taken one example. Suppose a is equal to 8, right? So I have made one variable like a is equal to 8. So and I have made some if, elif, else. So this is called if else ladder in Python, right? So when you see many if, many elif, and many else, so if you see if and many elif and else, then it is called if elif else ladder in Python, right? So our program is that if a is equal to 8, then find out if a is greater than 3, if a is greater than 5, a is greater than 7, a is greater than 17, right? So our first command is that if a is greater than 3, right? So you can see here, first of all, I have made some indentation. So I have made some space, right? So space should be equal in all, right? So I have space of like 5 dots. You can see space of 5 dots. So according to you, you can do it, right? So this is already done by Python. So you don't have to worry, but you should know it, right? That there is space, right? So you can see that a is greater than 3, right? Because a is 8. So this command will run. The value is a is greater than 3. So all the further commands will not run, right? As I said earlier that only one command will run. If the first command is true, then it will stop there only. So let's run this command. So you can see here that only this is command, right? The value of a is greater than 3, right? So this command output is this. Suppose if I put a is less than 3, since you know that a is not less than 3, then it will go to the next command. A is greater than 5, right? So let's see what is the output. You can see it goes to next command and output is the value of a is greater than 5, right? Suppose now if I say that a is less than, if I say here a is less than 7, a is less than 17, right? And if I change a to suppose 18, right? So a is neither less than 3 nor less than 5 or 7 or 17. So it will skip all these commands and it will run this else command. The value is not greater than 3 or 7, right? You can write whatever, 3 or 7 or 17, right? Or 5, right? You can do anything, right? So you can write like this, right? So output will be this one. So let's run. So you can see the value is not greater than 3 or 17 or 5 or 7, right? So this way, this if elif else ladder will work, right? So in addition to that if elif, you can also create multiple if statement as well. So let's see multiple if statements. So if I put so we can also use multiple if statements. So instead of using else, if we can also use only if statement many times. So different ifs are different entity. They do not have any relationship with each other. Let's see how it will work. So you can see that I put some statement like if a is less than 3, then put the value of a is greater than 3, right? If I put a is greater than 13, the value of a is greater than 13, right? So all these commands will run. This command is different, this command will different. So Python interpreter will see these two commands as a different command. It will not consider it as a ladder. So if a is greater than 7, print the value of a is greater than 17, right? But you can see that now we have if and else. So these two commands will be considered together, right? So if a is greater than 17, right? So output will be a is greater than 17. Else print the value is not greater than 3 or 7, right? I can change it to a is less than 17 so that I want output the value is not greater than 3 or 7, right? So let's run this. You can see the value, you can see a is less than 3, that output is not true because the value of a is 18, right? So this command will not run, right? So you can see the output, the value of a is greater than 3 is not here, right? Now the a is greater than 13. Yes, a is greater than 13. So output you can see the value of a is greater than 13. The a is greater than 7. Yes, you see the values a is greater than 7. And then I put that a is less than 17. No, a is not less than 17. So output will be the value is not greater than 3 or 7. So this way you can run multiple if statement as well, right? So let's go back to our theory. So there is one code example. So please run in your computer and let me know the output. So if a is greater than 22, so if a is greater than 9, print greater, else print lesser. Can you please write in the comment box what is the output? Is it greater or is it lesser? Let's do a quick quiz. Write a program to print yes when the age entered by a user is greater than or equal to 18. Right? So let's take the help of this program. So let's run this program. So I have already made this program by the name if else quick quiz. I already make this program so that I don't want waste time in typing this program, so that my video should not be very long. That's why I already made these programs. Okay, so the question says that write a program to print yes when the age entered by the user is greater than or equal to 18, right? So age is an integer, so we have to use this integer function, right, as mentioned in the previous class. And then you have to use this input function. For input function, please refer to my chapter 2. It's very important function. Please go to that function and then you can use that function. So I have made a variable by the name age is equal to int input enter your age, right? So if age is more than 18, print yes, else print no, right? So let's execute this command. So if I enter suppose age 9, right, what will happen? So age is not greater than 18, so output is no. If I put again age 19, output is yes, because 19 is greater than 18. If I put suppose 18, right, output is still no, because 18 is not greater than 18, it's equal to 18, right? So I have not put anything related to equal, right? So that's why it's giving me no as output. So it's a simple program. If a is greater than 18, print yes, else print no, right? It's a simple program. Then we have to talk about relation operators as well, right? So there are various relation operators and they are used to evaluate conditions inside the if statement. Some examples of relation operators are like equal to equal to. Now the question is why we are using two equal in case of Python, right? So as you know that single equal, right, you can see here single equal here, right, like a is equal to, right? So single equal is an assignment operator. That's why we can't use it, right? So Python has to distinguish between this assignment operator and the relation operator. That's why they are using two equal for the relation operator and one equal for the assignment operator, right? So greater than equal to, less than equal to. So all these are examples of the relation operators. So then we have these logical operators. So in Python, logical operators operate on conditional statements. Example, and. So true if both operands are true, else false, right? So suppose if I write program, if a is greater than 18 and if age is greater than 34, only then. So if age is greater than 13 and if age is less than 34, then you are eligible for this job, right? So if both these conditions are true, only then Python will execute that command, otherwise no. Same thing with the similar thing with the or command, and similar thing with the not command as well, right? So let's make a program of logical operators. Suppose I have used this command like, again, input enter your age, right? So if your age is greater than 34 and less than 56, you can work with us, else you can't work, right? So age should be between 34 and 56, right? Let's run this command. So if I put here, suppose 57, right? So the output is that you can't work with us because this is outside this range. And if I put, suppose 37, right? So it means you can work with us because it is in the range between 34 and 56, right? And if I use this or, then if I put here or, it means out of these two, any one conditions can be true and then it will execute, right? So if age is greater than 34 or less than 56, right? So both. So if I put here, suppose 59, right? So you can see it is greater than 34, and so it is greater than 34, right? So 59 is greater than 34. That's why this command is executed, right? Okay. So this, if I use or function, then it shows that it will work in every condition, right? So if I put any other number, even then it will say that you can work with us. So if I put here, suppose 45, right? Even then you can say you can work with us, right? So generally we use and command instead of or, because in or it is satisfying all the conditions, right? So these are the relation and the logical operators, and we have learned the Elif clause as well. So Elif in Python means else if, and if statement can be chained together with a lot of these Elif statements followed by an else statement, right? So if condition 1 is true, code 1. If condition 2, code. If condition 3, code, else, code, right? So if and else can be used only once, but Elif can be used any number of times, right? And one more thing we have to learn in this chapter is the is and the in operator. So what is the is operator? So the is operator in a Python is used to check if two variables point to the same object. Unlike the equal operator, which checks if the values of two objects are equal, the is operator goes one step further to ensure that they are in fact the exact same object. For example, if A is equal to one list like 1 to 3 and B is equal to A, and if you print A is B, it means output is true because A is already equal to B. And if C is 1 to 3 and you have not put C is equal to A, then output is false, right? So same in the above example, A and B are pointing to the exact same list. So if A is B, returns true. However, A and C, despite having the same values, are different lists. Hence, A is C, returns false. Then second thing is the in operator. So the in operator is used to check if a value exists within a sequence like a list, tuple, dictionary, or a string. If it returns true, if the value is found in the sequence, and a false otherwise, right? So A is equal to list 1 to 3. So print 1 in A, right? So 1 is already there, so output is true. So if you put B is equal to hello codeman and you put Z is not there, so output is false, right? Let's see in the command as well. So let's see the command as well. So in and is. So if A is equal to none, right? So if A is none, print yes, else print no, right? So A is, right? So it is similar to equal to, but we can use is as well. Most of the time we will use equal to, else print no, right? So let's see the output. You can see yes, right? Output is yes because it is none. If I put, suppose if I remove this E, right? Suppose I write something here like if A is PO, right? And then so since A is not PO, A is equal to none, then it will run as no. You can see that the output is no, right? Because it is not PO, it is none, right? So same thing, it is similar to equal to, but you can use this as well. Second thing, in. So if I use this in command, so second thing is in. So for in, I have made one list like A is equal to 45, 56, 6, right? So print 45 in A. So because 45 is already in A, so output will be true. And 435 in A, output will be false because 435 is not in that particular list. You can see true and false, right? So this way you can use this in and is function. So again, when to use is in operator? So the is in operator has a wide range of applications like checking if a particular item exists in a list or dictionary, ensuring an object is of certain type, comparing two variables to ensure they point to the same object, right? Then we have these important notes. So there can be any number of Elif statements. Last, else is executed only if all the conditions inside Elif fails, right? So now the question is that if else is optional or not, right? Let's see. So if I run this command, suppose a is equal to 6, and if I run this command without else, let's see, can we run this command? Yes, you can run this command, right? So let's see if else is optional or not. So if suppose I have made one variable a is equal to 6, right? So if a is equal to 7, then print yes. Else if a is greater than 5, print no or yes, right? So if I run this command, you see the output is still there. So else is not compulsory, it is just an optional, right? If I change it, suppose here like this, and then you can run here command, right? So you can see the output is I'm optional. So else is optional, it's not compulsory, right? So this is all about conditional expression theory, and let's jump to the quiz of conditional expression. And before jumping to the quiz, I request everybody, it will be a great favor to me if you answer any of these questions in the comment box. The first question is that, is our video useful to you, and topic of the next video you want to watch. As I said earlier, you don't have to make any kind of notes. Just send one email to python.training32@gmail.com and you will get all the notes, you will get all the codes. So you don't have to worry about anything. Just send one email and you get everything. So let's talk about question number 1. So in the question number 1, they are saying that write a program to find the greatest of 4 numbers entered by the users. Let's talk about this program. So we have 4 numbers. You can see here num1, num2, num3, num4, and we have to input those numbers, right? And as you know that the output of input function is a string, right? So we have to typecast it into an integer, right? So because number is an integer, so we have to convert input function into an integer, right? So let's talk about this. So num1 int input enter number 1, int input enter number 2, int enter number 3, and input enter number 4, right? So as you know that in case of any kind of league, right, we have some semi-finals, right? So let's have a semi-final between num1 and num4 and between num2 and num3, right? So I have made this program. So if num1 is greater than num4, right, then f1 is num1. I have made a variable f1, else f1 is num4, and right. So I have made one more if. So if num2 is greater than num3, then f2 is num2, else f2 is num3, right? So I have made one more variable f2 and we have one more variable f1. So we have two variables f1 and f2, right? And then I have made one more if command. So out of f1 and f2, which one is bigger? If f1 is bigger, then we can write f1 is the greatest, and if f2 is bigger, then f2 is greatest, right? So here I have used string because as you know that is greatest is a string function, right? And f1 is an int function. We can't add int with a string. It will give you an error. I will show you error. So if I put like this, see here f1 is the integer, right? You can see int. So if I run this command, it will not be run, right? So if I put 4 numbers, suppose you can see if I put number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, right? It will show you an error, that type error. We can't add int plus string, right? So that's why we have to convert this into a string. So let's run this command. So enter one number, any number like 3, enter second number 6, enter 7 number, enter third number which is 8, and enter fourth number which is 9, suppose. So you can say that it is saying that 19 is the greatest out of all these 4 numbers, right? So this is our first program. So in the first question they are asking that write a program to find greatest of 4 numbers entered by the user. Let's talk about second question. So second question is saying that write a program to find out whether a student is pass or fail if it requires total 40% and at least 33% in each subject. So if you have 3 subjects like chemistry, maths, or social studies, then all 3 subjects should have at least marks 33. But combination of all those marks should be at least 120 because 40 is the average, right? So average should be more than 40, but each subject should have more than 33, right? So let's talk about this program and let's make this program in the Python. So I have added 3 subjects. You can see subject 1 int because numbers is an integer. So I have used this again, this command integer, and input enter first subject marks, right? And /n, so it will gives you next line, right? So you can type your subject 1 numbers in the next line, right? Then subject 2 input enter second subject numbers, and subject 3 int input enter object. So subject number 3 int input enter third number marks, right? So these are the three variables I have created, sub 1, sub 2, sub 3, right? So they are saying that the marks of every subject should be at least 33%, right? So I have write that if subject 1 is less than 33, or subject 2 is less than 33, or subject 3 is less than 33, then you are fail because you have less than 33 marks in one of the subjects, right? Then I will use the function Elif. So if the combination or if the average of all three subjects should be less than 40, then again you are fail, right? Else you can print congrats, you are passed the exam, right? So let's see, let's run this program. You can see if I enter the marks of first subject, suppose 12, then second subject 23, then 34. You can see that you are fail because you have less than 33% in one of the subjects, right? So I am fail, right? If I put suppose 33, then I put 34, right? Then I put 37, right? Again, it is fail because I have total percentage less than 40, right? Because combination of 33, 34 and 37, the average is less than 40. And if I put more than 40, suppose I put 38, 45, 49, congrats, you are passed because your average is more than 40 and marks in each subject is more than 33. So this way you can make this program, right? So third question is saying that a spam comment is defined as a text containing following keywords: make a lot of money, buy now, subscribe this, click this, write a program to detect these spams. Okay, let's make this program. So again, text input enter the text, right? So these are the strings like make a lot of money, buy now, subscribe. So we don't have to make it, or we don't have to convert it into an integer, right? So input enter the text. So what are the text? Suppose if I put if make a lot of money, right? So if you remember in the theory class we talked about in, right? In function, right? So make a lot of money in text, spam is equal to true because they are saying put the spam, right? Elif buy now in text, spam is equal to true. Elif click this in true, and so on, right? And if those words are not there, then spam is equal to false, right? So if spam, this text is spam, else print this text is not spam, right? So if spam means if spam is equal to true, right? So let's run this program. So suppose if I write something like this, buy now, right? You see this text is spam because buy now comes under this, right? If I write something like I love Oran, right? If I write like this, then you see this is not in spam, right? Because this doesn't come under make a lot of money, buy now, click this, subscribe this, and so on, right? So this way you can find this word is a spam or not, right? And we have used, for example, like a make a lot of money, Elif buy now, Elif click this, Elif subscribe this, else spam is equal to false, right? So as we have discussed that we can use Elif any number of times, right? So I have used here Elif 3 times and you can use it any number of times. And before jumping to the next question, I request everybody please like this video and please subscribe to this channel. It will be very helpful to me and I will be able to make more videos like this. Okay. So next question is write a program to find whether a given username contains less than 10 characters or not, right? Let's make this program. So if you remember that I have used this input function that enter your name, or you can say that enter username, right? So enter username, and because username is a string, so we don't have to convert it into so since username is a string, we don't have to convert it into an integer. So if you remember in last class we'll talk about len function. With the help of len we can see the length, right? So if len name less than 10, then your username is correct. If it is more than 10, then it means username is too long, right? So let's see the output and let's run this program. So see, if I put the username, suppose Gaurav, so this username is correct because the length is less than 10. If I put some other name, suppose I put Priyanka, right? Sharma, right? Then what it will come? You can say the username is too long, right? So here only one thing is that you have to use the len function to calculate the length of the characters, right? So in this question, they are just asking that whether a username is less than 10 characters or not, right? And here we have just used the len function, and with the help of len and if else, we can find out whether the username is less than 10 characters or not, right? So next question is that write a program which finds out whether a given name is present in a list or not, right? So same thing here, we use the in function again, right? So let's talk about that. So if I made a program like this, so question number 5, in this we have to put some names. So I have made a variable by the name. Names is equal to like Gaurav, Rashmi, Kavya, Rohan, Aditi and Shipra. And I have created one more variable by the name, right? And this is the input function, because we give user the flexibility of adding the name, right? And I have used that if name, this name variable is in the names, right? Then print your name is present in the list. Else print your name is present, else your name is not present in the list, right? Let's run this command. So if I put any name like Rahul, you can see the Rahul is not here, right? So that's where output is your name is not present in the list. If I put some other name, suppose I put Shipra, right? So Shipra, your name is present in the list. So this is the output, right? So we have used two functions here, if, else and the in, right? Name, in, names. Okay. Then the very interesting question is that write a program to calculate the grade of student from his marks from the following. So if 90 to 100, the grade is excellent. 80 to 90, grade is 8. If 70 to 80 to 90, grade is A. 70 to 80, grade is B. 60 to 70, grade is C. 50 to 60, grade is D, and less than 50, grade is F. Okay, let's talk about this. So again, I have created a variable by the name marks, and here you see enter your marks. Since marks is an integer, so we have to convert this into an integer, right, with the help of this int function, right? So again, if marks is greater than 90, then it is excellent. If marks is less than 80, then grade A. Less than 70, grade B. Less than 60, C. 50, D, and so on, right? So since, as you know that in the if elif function, only one command will run. So if this command is true, the program will stop at this moment. If this command is true, then program will stop at this moment. So you don't have to worry about all these things like 80 to 90, 70 to 80. So it will stop at that moment. Okay. So let's run this. And since we are using ABCD is already a string, so we have to put your grade is grade, right? You don't have to change it into string or anything, right? So let's run. So if I put some marks like 70, right? So 70, your grade is B, right? 70 to 80, grade is B. If I put some other marks, suppose 97, your grade is excellent, because 90 to 100, it is excellent, right? So this way you can make this program. The last question is, write a program to find out whether a given post is talking about Gaurav or not. Same thing, in that also we have to use this in function, right? So if I create a post by the name post is equal to input enter my post, right? So since enter my post is an since enter my post is a string, so we don't have to convert this into a integer, right? So again, if Gaurav in the post, so I have created one variable by the name post. So if Gaurav in post, G is equal to yes, right? Else G is equal to no. Print G, right? So let's run this command. So see if I put something like Neha. So Neha is not in the post, the output is no. If I put suppose Gaurav again, then the output is yes, right? So we have used in function and if and else function, right? So this way you can run this program, right? So friends, this is all about practice set. I hope you have liked this video, and I request everybody, please subscribe to this channel and please share this video with your friends as well. Again, thanks a lot for watching this video. Thank you.